Hi everyone, welcome back to Matt's Plants. So today's video is going to be slightly different to some of the videos I've done over the last 18 months. I'm not going to look at orchids or carnivorous plants. I'm going to look at a hydroponics project I'm starting and hydroponics in general. So this is sort of my other plant growing obsession. So you mention hydroponics to most people in the UK or probably most other places in the world, and it's about a plant that's not legal in the UK but is increasingly legal in North America and parts of Europe. I don't grow that plant. I've really got no interest in growing that plant. But the availability of technology and nutrients in shops in the UK and probably elsewhere for people who do is absolutely fantastic. And going to a hydroponic shop in the UK is perfectly legal. I've been to a couple and they've usually been absolutely fantastic. High quality of experience, very knowledgeable, and very good customer service as well, usually. So we're going to start this hydroponics project with cucamelon seeds. So I'm going to grow cucamelon, and this is part one of how to prepare the seeds and get them started in the rock wool cubes. And then we'll hopefully have other videos going forward that shows them growing and growing and growing, and the nutrients and the mixing and the types of hydroponics I've used. And hopefully it'll give a little interest in hydroponics from a UK perspective that isn't focused on growing, that plant. So the first thing we need to do is prepare and germinate the seeds in order to go into the hydroponic system, which will be a nutrient flow system, but more about that in the later video. So we're planting the cucamelon seeds, which have just arrived in the post, and they're going to be planted into rock wool cubes. So what these are, for people who don't know, is they're sort of a spun rock that is spun and heated and spun, so it ends up essentially like candy floss. They're very, very light. They hold a lot of moisture, but they also allow a lot of air, which is crucial to good root growth and preventing waterlogging and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare these ready for the seeds to go in, and then what will happen is the seeds will hopefully germinate in these, and then they will be transplanted to a bigger rock wool cube and then onto the nutrient flow system, hydroponic system. So these have been placed in a section. This is actually a much bigger tray, part of a much bigger tray that I've cut down to size. So they fit nicely in there. The tray holds something like 48, I think, and I only need really 3. So I'm going to start off 6 and see where we go. So these are going to be popped once they're ready into my wardrobe, my growing wardrobe, which looks very sus, which has currently got some orchids and stuff in it, but that'll be removed for the nutrient flow system, hydroponic system that's going to go in there at a later date once these are ready. So the first thing to be aware of with these is, although they are very good for germinating cuttings and starting off cuttings and germinating seeds, they naturally have a slightly higher pH. So the pH scale runs from 0 to 14, where 14 is very alkali and 1 is very acidic. So most water we want to give our plants needs to be in about the 5.8 to 6.5 pH range, so ever so slightly acidic, whereas these naturally are ever so slightly alkaline. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare these first and then come back in an hour or two to actually sow the seeds. So in order to do that, I've got my trusty hydroponic bucket here with about 2 litres of rainwater in. So we're going to soak the cubes in preparation, but they're also going to have a few additives to help lower that pH and get them to be a bit more prepared for the seeds to go in, and to also to assist the growth of the plants when the seeds germinate. So first thing we're going to do is add this. Annoyingly, I've lost the label, but this is BioBiz root juice. So this is an organic root starter, very good for starting off plants, cuttings, and seedlings. So it's humic and fulvic acids, which are both really important for plant growth. So we've got 2 litres of water in the bucket, and this is, as you can see there, 2 to 4 mil a litre. So we're going to stick some of this in. So I'm just going to put the camera down. So doing this on my floor can only go well. So I've put some in the cap. I've got my trusty measuring syringe there. And so we're going to draw about 2 to 4 milliliter. So we're going to start these off quite nicely. So about 5, 6, 7 mil, somewhere below 8 mil, and squirt it into the bucket. So there we go. So I reckon that's, although there's a little bit of air in there, I'd never make a nurse, obviously. That's about 7 ml of the BioBiz root juice, which we're going to start soaking the rock wool cubes in. So we'll squirt that into the water. We'll stir, rinse out the syringe. That's good to go. So that's the one component. So that will be slightly acidic because, as I say, it's consisting of humidicin fulvic acids. We're also going to add, so this is about 5 milliliter hydroponic nutrient. So I'm going to add 10 ml of the Formulex growth technology. I really rate this. It's used for, if you go into a hydroponic shop, they will tell you it's for baby plants because their fertilizers tend to be quite strong. But I use this for absolutely everything. I use it for houseplants, stuff outside, vegetables, and hydroponics as well. So same as before, I'm going to take my trusty measuring syringe, draw off about 10 milliliter and add it to the bucket. So again, there we go, a little bit less air, it's just under 10 mil. So a little bit light, but that's okay for these plants, seedlings. Again, same as before, add it. Rinse out the syringe a little bit. Give it a stir. Put the syringe on the floor. And what we're going to do, these are obviously dry rock wool cubes, as I say, very, very light. Yeah, sort of polystyrene sort of weight, very, very light. So they're going to soak up all the water, neutralize their alkaline pH, and then they're going to go back in the plastic pot, put the seeds in them, and add them to my propagator inside my grow wardrobe. Also obviously use a grow tent, so very popular for people growing a very different type of plant. But I'm going to try to grow some strawberries in the winter, which are already in, and they're in or organic soil mix, and then hydroponics for cucamelon and possibly a few other bits and bobs as well. So they're going to soak for about 2 hours while I go and have some lunch and take a meeting at work, and then they're going to go into the propagator. Welcome back. So I've had my lunch. So the cubes have soaked for a couple of hours, and I'm going to pop them into back into their sort of custom tray that they designed to sit in. Obviously underneath that so they don't drip all over my floor. Plant the seeds, and then we'll wait for however long it takes them to germinate. So you lift these out. You don't really want to squeeze them much, but just give them a little, just a little bit, just get some of the air in. If I was a bit of a better video editor, I'd have sped this up, but you know. Okay. Now to take the seeds. You notice the rock wool cubes usually come with a little hole in, and that's where we're going to place the seeds. So take a seed, place it inside the rock wool cube a little bit. The little hole that's already there. So yeah, that's basically it. Now we cross our fingers, hope these germinate, and this project isn't a waste of time, and I'll come back in a week or two and move to the next step. Okay, thanks for watching. If anyone's interested in using hydroponics in a sort of home environment and not to grow, you know, that plant, you can buy my book. I don't usually plug it, but if you look at the description, there should be a link to amazon.co.uk. So my book is called Hack Your Houseplants and gives a lot of information about nutrients, things like the BioBiz root juice, why it's useful, pH, lighting, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's really good for people trying to grow plants in the best possible way. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care.